Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the boys are back. Wish you guys could have heard the last 10 minutes. We were not recording yet, but the boys had some choice words, aka Cam was calling me out. But we're back, episode 24. Today is September 14th. It's a Thursday. It is 5:11 p.m. for timestamp, God, just in case any breaking news comes out there. And I will say, it's Thursday, so you know what that means, boys. Week 2 is officially here. As you know, week 1 just happened. This is going to be the NFL football overreaction, underreaction pod. Cam, Connor. Cam, I'll let you introduce Connor. I've been talking too long. How we doing, boys?
Yeah, man, we're all good here. We got a special guest joining the pod here, if you can't tell. Mr. Connor James, the one and only NC State fan, Commanders fan, just like you, Ward. I didn't know that they made too many like you guys, but
there's about 5 of us in the world.
Connor, let us know what you're thinking, man. We enjoy you. We appreciate you joining the podcast here, man.
Oh, yeah, man. It's great to be here, being a part of the Fat Katz Nation. I got to say, in regards to the teams that me and Ward have lining up together, he completely stole that from me. It was when, you used to think walking from Scott and Walker Hall back at Western, it's like, I got to meet that guy. I'm going to like every team that guy likes. Ward told me that himself when he first met me. So don't let him steal too much thunder. I'm the finished article compared to him, but yeah, just doing great out here this fine Thursday evening.
So most of you guys will know Connor, but people that don't know Connor, a little backstory about this guy. You look at him now; he's a professional, clean-cut guy, big corporate guy. But you know that you look at this guy when we're 18 years old. I'm fresh in college. I get here and I see this guy for about the first 2 weeks of college every day. I mean, you want to talk about hippie straight from Asheville, Cam. Jorts that are shorter than your underwear, Hawaiian shirt every day, hair down to your shoulders, and then a beard. You want to talk about somebody that's just straight from the slums of Asheville, you look at Connor James. And Connor's from Charlotte. He's not even from Asheville. Well, he's actually from Raleigh, and then now he lives in Charlotte. But
Cary, North Carolina, Ward. Cary, North Carolina.
Okay. Central area of relocated Yankees is what they call Cary. So we'll give you the Raleigh title. You're a Southern boy, but anybody that doesn't know Connor, that's a quick backstory on Connor. Obviously, me and Connor are boys now. When I first saw him, I thought he was a very interesting character. But
if you threw Connor in as an extra in Forrest Gump, man, nobody would bat an eye. But yeah, man, we love Connor here, man.
Connor would fit right in with those people in Forrest Gump that were protesting the war. He'd be like one of those guys.
Oh, man.
We're busting balls, man. We're joking. I do want to tell everybody before we get into it, man, find us on Spotify and YouTube. Just type in the Fat Katz Podcast. That's KATZ. Find us on Instagram and TikTok at Fat Katz Pod, man. T-shirt update. Click the link in our bios, mine, Ward, or the Fat Katz account bio, and there's a link tree. It'll take you to every link we have, our YouTube, our Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, and now we've got an Etsy shop so you guys can get T-shirts. Any color you want, any size you need, we got it there. We don't have to put orders in anymore, Ward. We don't have to take orders on our notes on our phones. So a little bit more official of a way to get people their T-shirts. So that's super exciting news. I do have a shout-out, Ward. My mom's friend Lauren and her husband Chris have started listening to the show a lot recently. I've gotten a lot of updates, man. So shout out to them. We're always excited to get new listeners. But I do want to say, Ward, a common theme I've come to kind of see is people that I know are mutual friends of mine. Usually they come for me, they come to listen to me, but they stay for you, man. Every time I talk to somebody about the show, they're like, dude, this Ward cat, man, he's unbeatable. This is the guy. So I wanted you to know that. Chris especially, man, he's always talking about how funny you are. So I wanted you to talk on that, do whatever you want to do with that information.
Cam, love to hear it. Chris, Lauren, thank you guys so much for all the continued support. And I hope you know I am in Charlotte once a month. Me and Cam do some live pods. So we'll be there. I'll be there not next week, but the week after. What's the restaurant we went to?
No, I don't know. We'll have to find
McCoy's.
No, not that one. We went to another one. It was some
kind of sports
Adam Sandler movie where he's a guy and a girl.
That's a lot of those words.
Jack and Jill. It was Jocks and Jill. Jocks and Jill restaurant. Hey, if you want to come out, and Jocks and Jill has the best chicken wings I've had in Charlotte. So you're more than welcome to come with us. But thank you for all the support.
Yeah, and before we get into it, man, obviously first favorite forgotten. We got Fans Fat Takes coming down the pipe. Weekly game balls from all of us. NFL Week 1, College Football Week 2. Aaron Rodgers out for the season. Burrow and Chris Jones get paid. Sean Strickland, Ward, the new UFC middleweight champion. We got Week 2 previews in the NFL. College Football Week 3 previews. Big Dog Locks is back. Pet Peeve of the Week is back. Full Plate Empty Stomach is back. Ward, before we get into it, man, I know we got a little bit of a late start on this podcast this week, man. Tell us about your trip to Baltimore. What all is going up in the one of the greatest cities in the East here?
Baltimore's a cool place, and there's a lot of buzz around the Baltimore Ravens right now. I will say that the locals there think Odell is the new something. I don't know. They think he's the new hot bread or something like that, but or lunch meat, whatever you want to call it. But Odell is running the show in Baltimore. But other than that, Baltimore's a pretty cool place. Ate some good food. They have some good local IPAs. Slammed a lot of those. And the Baltimore Orioles are supposed to be the number 1 team in the MLB, and they lost when we were there, Cam. So not too great of a performance by the Orioles. Couldn't tell you one player. Bought a T-shirt. It's in the washing machine, or I'd wear it. But cool trip.
You want to tell people about your upcoming trip?
My upcoming trip, I was going to wait to get into that. So I'm a traveling man this week. All of our listeners, you guys catch feelings. I catch flights. But anyway, tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., if you want to meet at the RDU airport for a beer, I've never drank that early, but tomorrow morning I'll think about it if some of our listeners are there. We're flying to Denver, and we're going to see the boys, the Washington Redskins Commanders, take on Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. Not going to tell you what I think is going to happen. I think after our Week 1 performance, we're going to get our asses beat. But I hope we don't, and every time I think something's going to happen, I'm wrong. So we're hoping for the positive. But going to Denver, excited.
Through a couple of weeks of the football season, it's been big time fade Wade time. Anytime Wade says something, kind of go the other way. But as we get into it, man, first favorite and forgotten.
Fade Wade, that's hilarious.
Fade Wade, man. First favorite and forgotten here, episode 24. I'm gonna let Ward go first, then Connor, then I'll go. We'll see if I don't mess it up like I did a few times ago. So, Ward, I think we're all gonna have the same first, but I'm gonna let you take it off here.
R.I.P. Kobe Bryant.
Got to go with Kobe. There's no other option there. 24-8, doesn't matter.
Yep, Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bean, rest in peace, man. Weezy's favorite player of all time besides Michael Jordan, as you guys will soon learn in one of the comments. But yeah, Kobe Bean Bryant, first that comes to mind for number 24.
The second greatest Laker of all time.
Ward, you got a special guy here as your favorite, so go ahead and take it off, man.
Yep. But, going off Kobe, the second favorite Laker of all time. LeBron's number 1. For all the old heads that get mad about it out there, take it up with me. You'll be lucky. But anyway, my favorite number 24 is actually my dad. My dad, back in the early 80s, played baseball at NC State. He wore 24 when he was there. And so that was my favorite number all growing up until I adapted the number 45. So, Pops, you're my favorite 24.
And then, of course, for my favorite 24, got to go with Beast Mode Marshawn Lynch, especially during those Seattle days. The Beast Quake was one of the greatest things I've ever got to witness live as a football fan. My uncle was a lifelong Seahawks fan, so I was quickly introduced to the greatness that is Marshawn Lynch. So he's got to be my favorite 24.
Yeah, Connor's here just so he doesn't get fined. My favorite number 24, this is another kind of shout out to Weezy, man. Darrelle Revis is my favorite 24, man. Jets legend. The dude had probably the best, one of, if not the best prime as a cornerback in NFL history. You know, he's in the conversation with Prime and Rod Woodson and all those guys. So shout out Weezy, man. Weezy will die on the hill that Darrelle Revis is the first or second greatest cornerback of all time. I'll do it with him, man. Darrelle Revis is that guy.
Yep. Especially back in those Jets days, the Jets and the Patriots days, he was that guy. But going off what you said about Marshawn Lynch, Connor, I watched a video the other day. It's the funniest video I've ever seen. Probably one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. All of our fans, go check it out. Look up Peyton Manning, Marshawn Lynch pregame ritual. They're talking about their pregame rituals there. Have you seen it, Cam?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure everybody's seen it
before the game, baby. That's
what you
we
mean?
like to see.
Hennessy. But anyway, man,
Got a
you got,
shot and a half.
but go check it out. Funny video. And my forgotten, and this guy's not really forgotten. He doesn't race anymore. You know me, I'm a NASCAR guy. So and he's always in the shadows of number 48, by the way. He's always in the shadows of one of the greatest athletes ever, Jimmy Johnson. But my forgotten number 24 is Jeff Gordon.
Once again, not much of a forgotten, considering that he is considered one of the greatest drivers in NASCAR history. I don't really like NASCAR, so I can't attest. But to go off another one that's not really forgotten, he's just considerably older than everybody that we would have talked about here. But Willie Mays, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, center fielders of all time. Inspired one of the greatest sports movie characters in Willie Mays Hayes from Major League. I know these scrubs are not a big baseball guy, so unfortunately they don't really understand the reference, but got to go Willie Mays just because they didn't want to list him.
Yeah, not a baseball pod.
Not a baseball pod.
Death, taxes, and Ward bringing up NASCAR drivers when he doesn't know who else to talk about. My forgotten here is going to be Champ Bailey, a guy that thrived in the late 2000s, early 2010s. One of the best corners in the league for probably 6 years. Kind of gets forgotten about just because he was in such a cornerback heavy time in the NFL. Like so many great corners were in the league at that time. Former Commander Redskin football player. And Champ Bailey was that guy. Great name for a cornerback, and seriously, a Hall of Famer. So Champ Bailey.
Biggest mistake Dan Snyder ever made. That's
long. Add it to the long list.
Add it to the long list. Champ Bailey is actually our honorary captain for week 1, which was extremely cool.
But as we move on, man, we got fans' fat takes. We've only got 2 big ones here. But Justin Alford, always first in line, man. He's the guy. He's our boy. Ward and Justin actually got to meet up last weekend. So we'll talk about that here at some point. But Justin says, rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett. He does say that his favorite 23 from last episode is Clemson running back Andre Ellington. He was a really underrated guy. His forgotten was Devin Hester, one of the greatest kick returner of all time. And then he said his first was obviously Mike and LeBron. In terms of Clemson, he says his take is that they lack playmakers at receiver, which I agree with. I actually replied to this comment and told him when I saw the white kid, number 22, start taking snaps at receiver, I knew it was going to be a long day for Clemson. He wants to complain about the lack of a vertical passing attack, but who are they going to throw it to? He would like to know how much Dabo is involved in that offense, and he thinks I'm spot on with my take. High school recruiting should be the main roster filler, but you got to take transfer portal guys. Rough loss, but no pressure now, which is the funny kind of spin zone that a lot of fans put it on when they lose week 1. LSU fans did the same thing, like, hey man, no longer undefeated. We don't have any pressure now. It's a funny spin to put on it. But I agree, man. You can just go out and play football now. This is Justin's first time in 10 years playing fantasy football award. Can you believe that?
Justin, I hope you won week 1, buddy.
But Ward, do you have any stories or cool stuff that happened when you and Justin got to meet up, man?
The boys put a hurting on some Mexican food. I'll tell you that. We were down in Creedmoor, North Carolina. If anybody knows anything about Creedmoor, it's a one stoplight kind of town. And boy, they have some mean Mexican food there. Let me tell you. And put a hurting on some Mexican and talk a little bit of shit about Clemson and talk about State, how we're going to put a whooping on them here in the next couple of weeks. And always a good time, boys.
I'll tell you what, man. You send me that picture. Dabo needs to give the boy a call, man. That kid's got damn quads like Saquon, man.
Hey,
that dude is he's a ball player.
You need a tight end or a safety. You look Mr. Justin Alford's way.
Yeah. But as we move on, man, Uncle Weezy, I told y'all earlier, we got kind of a wild take here. This is, kind of the way he thinks, which is cool, man. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. He said, y'all remember in 2004, the Olympic team with Kobe, D-Wade, Melo, and a slew of NBA talent getting blasted and bullied all the way to a bronze medal in the Olympic Games and then the World Games till they were forced to get LeBron to play with them in order to win the gold medal in 2008? Yeah, me neither. LeBron was the quote-unquote leader of the bronze medal teams, and they were high-flying, athletic, and fast, and as soft as tissue paper. So they had to get Kobe and the Mamba mentality to lead the Redeem team to gold. because aside from MJ, Kobe is the best to ever lace him up. Y'all can shout him out as your first or favorite, but he will never be forgotten. That's true. He will never be forgotten. Please stop putting LaFlop in front of GOAT 1 and GOAT 2. Love the show. Keep it up. Great work. Weezy, I love you, man. This is a rough take, bro. We're talking about a 19-year-old LeBron James in the 04 Olympics with a team that had a 28-year-old. Tim Duncan is the captain, a 29-year-old Allen Iverson, and a sophomore year D Wade and Carmelo Anthony. And we're talking about this dude like he's supposed to be the leader of that team. I don't know, man. This is a wild take to me, Ward.
Hey, do you think, speaking of Kobe, and this is a little off record, do you think it's too soon if somebody were to put him as the forgotten?
Well, that just wouldn't make any sense, Ward. But
Well, it would make sense, but conversation for another day. Anyway, Weezy, love the comment. Appreciate all the support. But yeah, that is a little wild take. What Cam said, you're talking about a 19-year-old playing on the Olympic team. But
Ward, you know what MJ and Kobe were doing when they were 19? MJ was averaging 13 points a game in Carolina. Kobe was riding the bench in LA.
State.
Kobe was riding the bench in LA, man. What are we talking about? But yeah, man.
Forgotten.
Love to take Weezy, man. You always bring a good light and a different perspective. As a guy who got to watch those guys, we didn't. We weren't as blessed as you to watch the great 90s when it comes to sports. So we love you giving your take, man. We're just busting your balls. But this is in response to our highly controversial take, Ward, about Dabo taking the Bama job once Saban's done. We got a head shake over here already.
I like it.
Wild. That's the head shake. It's not wild.
Ben Miz says that he can't see this happening because Bama likes NIL. Spencer Smith says straight up, man, this is a wild take. And this is my favorite, man. Michael _Roll Tide _ Franklin says, not with his NIL stance, man. NIL seems to be the big hang up here. I think transfer portal would be a big hang up, but man, like Connor said, man, this has like been said for years.
I mean, you take a look at, watching game day throughout the years. I think on a handful of times it went over Dabo playing wide receiver at Bama back in the 80s under Gene Stallings, a connection that I believe he had to Gene Stallings' son who had Down syndrome, and he's very, very tied to the Alabama community. I think it's pretty much been a foregone conclusion since he won that first national championship at Clemson that he is going to go back to Alabama at some point. NIL or not, I think that's going to be in the cards so long as he can consistently win games at Clemson. I mean, he's going to have to figure this NIL thing out at some point because, frankly, it's not going away, especially as you see the success that Deion's having at Colorado and any of the other schools that are consistently able to replace top talent with transfer portal players. And at the end of the day, I don't think that it's too far-fetched to think that even if Dabo doesn't like NIL, Bama will still want him. When Saban retires, he's going to be at the top of that list. No other assistant at Bama, I think, would have the job on him right now. They're not going to bring back a Bill O'Brien or anything like that. And all the other assistants like Sark and Kirby and all the other guys already have those jobs locked in. Dabo's going to be at the top of that list, and he'll change. If you guys don't think he's going to change to win games at Alabama, I mean, I don't think you guys have been watching football.
I like it, Connor. You can't prepare with that one, man. Connor did some research there.
I saw the Instagram post. I was like, man, I wish I could speak on this one. So fortunately to be here this week and put anybody, especially Ben Misk, down for saying that's not.
Listen, here's one thing that I've started thinking about, man, if you think about it, man, there's two programs that have taken probably the biggest hit when it's come to NIL and transfer portal, and it's Alabama and it's Clemson. I'm just saying y'all do with that information as you please. But it's a little bit fishy, man. Everybody can pay people and kids can go wherever they want to go. And, man, these programs start taking a step back where you see other programs taking a step forward. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man, it's not a crazy world we live in. Coaches move all the time, man. Clemson, I mean, people don't talk about Clemson. Like, there's like 3,000 people in Clemson, South Carolina, bro. Like, this isn't like a
not
big
much
market.
There.
Yeah.
About 90,000 on game day, though.
Yeah, man. But, I don't know, man. We'll see it. We'll cross that bridge when we get there when it comes to Dabo and the Alabama job. But as we get into it, man, Ward, we got weekly game balls. I know you got one of your boys coming up here, so I'm going to let you have the tee box, big dog.
I appreciate it, man. So this guy is – obviously he's going to be a Commanders guy. And anyway, this guy is in a contract year. In week 1, damn sure he played like it. Montez Sweat, if anybody knows who Montez Sweat is, 2018 first-round pick out of Mississippi State. He's a JUCO product. If anybody knows anything about Chase Young, he did not play this week. He was hurt. And Montez Sweat came in, and that man's trying to get paid. A little stat line for you. Montez Sweat had 1.5 sacks. He had 2 forced fumbles. He had 6 tackles, and 2 of those tackles were tackles for loss. And those sacks came at huge time. Those forced fumbles came at huge times. Our offense played awful, and those forced fumbles, we were able to recover both of them inside of our own 30-yard line, and that led to points. So, Cam, Montez Sweat has my game ball because he made an impact this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm actually going to take over from Cam here real quick. My game ball of the week is going to have to go to Xavier Gibson. I don't know.
Nice. I saw that. I like that.
Anybody who watched Hard Knocks this year, him and I believe it was Joshua Brownlee were profiled pretty hard, kind of going over the second half of the show. Just 2 undrafted rookie wide receivers trying to make it on the same team. Fortunately, Gibson ended up getting the call and, was able to come on with the team on that last episode. Jitterbug type of player, not tall, but God, is that dude quick. And I mean, the second he cut up left around the field on that punt return in overtime on Monday, I knew that thing was going to the house. And to see that story and to see it pay off in such a storybook type way, especially with everything that happened to old A-Rod on Monday, I mean, it's got to go to Gibson.
Yeah, man. Keeping it in the Jets here, man. Jordan Whitehead's going to get my first game ball, man. 3 interceptions. He had 3 of Josh Allen's 4 turnovers attributed to himself. A guy that came over in the offseason from the Bucks, Jordan Whitehead, man, he's going to get my game ball this week.
Love it. And so my second ball is actually, it's not going to be a game ball to one person. It's going to be a game ball to a whole team. And it's a team that we're all alumni of. If anybody watched WCU football this weekend, it's the biggest win that we've had since 2012. The boys came in and we beat number 8 team in the nation.
Yeah, 7 or 8. Like
beat number 7, beat number 8 Sanford. I'm sorry. Beat number 8 Sanford, who is a conference foe of ours. Went down to or they actually came to us. It was Whiteout, Whitmire. The fans were there. We were under a 3-hour rain delay, but the boys came in and we beat the number 8 team in the country 30-7. So that's domination in my book. And the boys are back. The boys are back on top, and we are on the way up. We're actually ranked 25th now, by the way.
Really? I did not see that.
That's how we're ranked.
Yeah, makes a whole lot of difference when you have a quarterback that can throw the ball and receivers that can catch it. That's all I got to say about WCU football right there.
I want to say, man, that coach has done a really good job, man. He took that program, which was in the gutter, and he's made it a respectable program, and they just keep getting better and better every year.
Kerwin Bell is doing a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Great tipper if he ever comes into your rrestaurant and you serve him, by the way.
Did not know that. I know we can all have some stories about WCU football.
You got a big tip. Anyways. My last game ball, man, Quinn Ewers. We'll get into it later, but the dude had 349 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a win in Tuscaloosa against Alabama. Quinn Ewers put himself on the map this week, man. He had a big game. So as we get into it, do you have another game ball, by the way? We're good. All right. Top stories, man. NFL Week 1. We got some overreactions, man.
Hey, Cam. I've been waiting to say this. Week 1 happened. Boys, let's overreact.
I like that, Ward. That was badass, man. Don't let this goofball.
I've been waiting to say it all day. I have it written down right here. Let's overreact.
Let's go. Well, if we're talking about overreaction, man, let's get your boys out of the way first. Commanders win 20-16 over the Kyler Murray-less Cardinals. Did you have a fire in your gut, Ward?
Can't say it, but I know my quarterback has a higher QBR over his last 2 starts over Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and there was one more big one. It was Joe Burrow, it was Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. That's who it was. Boom. Thank you. So my boy Sam Howell has a higher QBR than those 3 quarterbacks over his last 2 starts. But anyway, the offense came out slow, boys. Offense came out really slow. We have a lot of work to do. Those 20 points that are up on the board, that is strictly because of the defense. But other than that, the defense looked great. But my overreaction, I'm going to go ahead and say it. The Cardinals are awful, boys. The Cardinals are awful. I don't know if the Cardinals are going to win a football game this year.
Well, I'll take it from here. And I distinctly remember a phone call we had to ease your nerves after the game, Ward. But I mean, really, I think that they definitely did not look good. But in terms of kind of what, a leniency to give them, at least, it's essentially an entirely new offensive line. You have a brand new quarterback. The week 17 start when we're not going to make the playoffs is not a really meaningful game. I get it was against the Cowboys, but it really doesn't mean anything. First meaningful start for our quarterback. Horrible weather. Terry McLaurin is still dealing with turf toe, I guess. I mean, he didn't necessarily look like himself, but frankly, none of our receivers did. Logan Thomas, they probably need to cut him. That dude can't block a thing. He really can't do anything.
Logan Thomas had more targets than any receiver there.
Yeah, I mean, in the rain.
If Logan Thomas stays healthy, he's good.
I don't know. It's not a great situation in the tight end room. I guess Brock Bowers is probably who they're going to go for in the draft. Maybe. I don't know. Might be a good spot. But overall, not having Chase Young on defense, even though we only held him to 16 points, that offense probably needs to be held to about 10 at the maximum with a 28-year-old Josh Dobbs.
Well, see, the thing is, with those 16 points that the Cardinals had, our offense had 3 turnovers in the first half. So hard to come back from 3 turnovers. One, if we played any other team in the NFL, we would have lost by 20 points at least. But I will say, Connor, sorry to cut you off. Emmanuel Forbes, our new first-round pick, played great. He's a small guy, but he throws his body out there. He makes plays on the ball. Where we were hurting the most was offensive line, obviously. We had one new guy come in, one new starter came in playing for us, and Sam Howell was sacked 7 times by a Cardinals defense that I couldn't tell you one person on their defensive line, to be honest with you. So, but no, enough Commanders talk. We're 1-0 at the end of the day. A win's a win. It don't matter how you get it done. The boys get it done. We're happy. We're moving on to Denver this weekend, and Denver's an 0-1 team. They're projected. They're a -3.5 favorite on us right now. And they lost to the Raiders this weekend, who a lot of people have as the worst team in the league. So we'll see.
Ward, what's the best thing about 1-0?
You have the opportunity to go 2-0, baby.
Yep, man. My Steelers do not have that opportunity. The opportunity awaits them on Monday night to go 1-1 against Cleveland. But before that, man, we got to talk about this absolute dog walking that I watched on Sunday. If you didn't know, 49ers 30, Steelers 7 in Pittsburgh, man, to kick it off. My boy Kenny Pickett looked bad, Ward. Matt Canada back to his old ways of I can tell you what the play is going to be before the play is called. And, just all systems failure, really, man. The only guy that really came to play was 90. TJ Watt, man, became the highest leading sacker in Steelers history. That was the only light spot of Sunday. You come out, you win the toss, Ward. You say, we want the ball, and then you go 3-and-out. That set the tone for the whole game, bro. Actually, you go 3-and-out and then get a punt blocked. So, yeah, man, rough start to the season for my Steelers, man. You got to go back to the lab, man. Cam Hayward's going to be out for a few weeks. Deontay Johnson's going to be out for a few weeks. So
Saw that.
It's time to nut up, man. It's time to start playing some football games. You're going to Cleveland. We don't lose to the Browns, man. The Browns is the Browns. They're nameless gray faces. We do not lose to those guys. So Monday night, man, Mike Tomlin's got to get these boys ready.
Hey, Cincy this weekend, man.
Boys, I said let's overreact. Let's overreact. Is this 49ers team the best team in the NFC? Yes or no?
Super Bowl. I'm calling it. They're winning the Super Bowl. It's their year. I'm going to go for it. Brock Purdy was able to talk his talk against Patrick Peterson. Brandon Ayuk finally looks like he's going to be the receiver that I've been waiting on him to be the last 2 years. What was it last year? He projected to be a wide receiver 2, opened up with a fat donut in fantasy, and then just whips around 33 points this weekend. Absolute must start for me this upcoming week. C-Mac looks like he's doing his thing. Kittle was a little dinged up, but they didn't really need to use him. And, I mean, that defense is
Trent Williams did his thing. I will say that. Trent Williams looked really good.
Hey, man, the Steelers are the Steelers. I think that, I think they will end up working some stuff out this year. But, I mean, shoot, aside from, I guess, who we're probably going to end up talking about next, and then the 49ers look like they are the most complete team in football, both sides of the ball. There's no question about it.
This is the overreaction that I love to hear, boys. This is what I was hoping for. But
one more thing. Let me say one more thing on the 49ers, man. The thing that's going to be tough about the 49ers this year is, one, that offensive line is incredible, man. They've got dudes on the offensive line, as they do every year. But the defensive line, man, you look at some of those guys they rotate in and out, man, those guys stay fresh the entire game. And they've got 3 guys on that D-line that could be Pro Bowlers and All-Pros, and you wouldn't even bat an eye. Mm-hmm. They brought in Javon Hargrave this offseason, who's one of the best 3 techs in the league. I don't know how they pay all these guys, Ward. They just, every time you look up, man, they've got studs. So
the Eagles are the same way. I don't know how the hell the Eagles are paying everybody too. But
man, this 49ers team is tough. The biggest competition in the NFC, I would say, is these boys we're about to talk about, which you want to talk about a dog walking, Ward. 40 rip Sunday night against your in-division rival Cowboys. 40, Giants 0 in MetLife. Talk to me.
Yeah, what a start for the Cowboys. I can't really say much. I can't talk shit because they looked really good. Their defense looked great. Not looking forward to playing Dallas right now, not going to lie. But the Giants, the thing that got me is everybody, I think the Giants opened up as a minus or +3 favorite or +3 underdog. And everybody, I follow all this betting stuff. Everybody's like, hammer it. And I'm like, I didn't touch it personally. But no, yeah, the Cowboys came out. The Giants turning the ball over. If Saquon's on a money year, he's not playing like it. Saquon looked bad. Their offensive line looked bad. Nobody looked good on the Giants. Thomas
got hurt, didn't he? He's gonna be out for a little bit.
I don't know one person on the Giants that looked good. Even the Cowboys offense. Tony Pollard looked really good. Dak didn't really do much. He didn't have to. When you start out, I believe they had a defensive turnover off rip or a defensive touchdown off rip. And then I don't know. When you go up by 14 points, you pretty much just run the ball. But Cowboys look really good.
That's one thing I want to say about this team, man. Everybody's crowning them the champs and everything already.
Hell no. There's so much football left.
First of all, this is Dallas, guys. This happens every year. Yeah. They don't 40-0 dog walk people all the time, but, man, they come out hot out the gate usually. And once we get a few weeks in, man, we see that, maybe the offense is as good as we thought. This defense is predicated on splash plays. They got 2 DBs now that are top of the game, but maybe aren't the best coverage guys, or they're more, ball hawks in a sense. Micah Parsons, man, he looked like the best defensive player in football, though, on Sunday night.
He's giving TJ a run for his money.
He is, man. That guy is insane. I cannot believe that there were 11 guys picked over him in the draft, man. Mm-hmm. But do you have any thoughts on your interdivision rivals here?
The Cowboys are it's as they were saying, wait and see. The 40-0 doesn't happen every day, but Dak losing the plot halfway through the season and McCarthy a little bit before that is kind of par for the course for him. So we'll see how it goes. The Giants, though, another rainy day. DJ looks like crap, though. Danny Dimes, the guy, I would like to think he could do well because he does have those flashes of looking like a pretty good quarterback. And last year and really the last couple of years, the excuse of him not having any skill position players or whatever it is, that's been very valid, but they put in the work to go draft some receivers, sign Darren Waller, and overall just try to make it so that he's going to have a clean pocket and just do what he needs to do. And he wasn't able to do it this week. I don't really know who they're playing this week, but whatever. I think this week might be a little bit of a better gauge.
They play the Jets this week. Oh, never mind. That's the Cowboys.
Okay. Well,
I don't know who the Giants play.
I think this week will probably be a little bit more telling of how the Giants will be. But overall, Danny Dimes, they got to regret paying him all that money, I got to say.
Yeah.
Do we think
I got in an argument with somebody at my gym, and I kind of want to get you guys' opinion on this. So there's overreaction time. So I said that Micah Parsons is about to get quarterback money. I think they're going to give Micah Parsons. He's going to reset the market by far. He's one of the greatest talents that we've seen these past couple of years. He's the first linebacker. I know now he's not a linebacker anymore. Now he's a defensive end, but he's the first linebacker defensive end we've ever seen. And you look at the domination he's had. I think they're giving him quarterback money.
Over Von Miller?
Well, Von Miller wasn't a stand-up linebacker.
Good.
Von Miller was a walk down defensive end. He was never he wasn't lining up guarding running backs one-on-one out of the backfield. He wasn't lining up in the middle and as a middle linebacker. Von Miller is known as a walk down linebacker.
Ward, you're right, Ward. Like Von Miller's an edge, and Michael Parsons has become that. But I've never seen a guy that like you could watch him, and his first 2 years, man, he'd get 30 snaps at Mike and then 30 snaps at edge.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never seen a guy that could play both positions and be all pro level at both positions.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about quarterback money because that's $50 million a year, but I could see him creep into the 40, 45, man. There's no doubt in my mind that guy resets the market for edge pass rushers when it's his time to sign a contract.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to ask one question before we move on. Does this game tell y'all more about how good the Cowboys are or how bad the Giants are?
Nowhere too far in either direction, but probably a little bit testament to the Cowboys being better. I don't know. It's all there. These are two teams that grading them week one is going to be impossible to really project. So I'd say maybe a little bit more. The Cowboys might actually be pretty decent as opposed to the Giants just sucking, because I think they will probably be better than last year. But overall, it's kind of hard to tell. Cowboys look phenomenal though.
Yeah, Cowboys look good, and I think kind of what Connor said. I think it's leaning in both directions.
Cool. As we move on, man, probably the most exciting game of the weekend. We saw the Dolphins win 36-34 over the Los Angeles Chargers. Ward, first of all, congrats to everybody who had Tyreek Hill in their fantasy league, aka this guy. Ward, tell me what your thoughts on this game was. I know you were watching this whole game.
If you want to compare UFC and NFL to a game, go watch Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje fight, and then come back and watch the Chargers versus the Dolphins play. It was a scoring battle, punches thrown. I mean, one of them lands a big blow, the next one comes back and lands a big blow. Hell of a game. It reminded me of Big 12 football is what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Georgia Oklahoma Rose Bowl. What was it, 2017, 2018?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, both offenses were clicking, man. Both of these teams are going to be good, I will say. The Chargers, Austin Eckler looked great. Keenan Allen got like 13, 14 targets. Everybody on their offense was booming. Even their backup running back, Joshua Kelly, I think is his name, or Josh Kelly. He looked really good. And then you look at the Dolphins. Obviously, Tyreek Hill speaks for itself. Tua looked really good. Tua really surprised a lot of people, I think. But football, I'm just so glad football's back. And this was one of the best games this past weekend.
You boys want an overreaction?
Let's hear it.
Tua, bare minimum AFC Offensive Player of the Year.
Ooh, okay. It is overreaction Thursday, boys. I love it.
I mean, when you think, the guy, if he does look like he's bulked up, he says he's been taking jiu-jitsu. He knows how to hit the deck a little bit better.
He's tatted up now.
And he's tatted, so evidently, much more hard than he was last year at the bare minimum. But I mean, the way he was, the dude can squeeze the ball in whatever window he wants to put it in. He's got the arm, in spite of what people would say. He's got the arm, he's got the touch. And really, Jalen Waddle didn't even have that great of a game. He had 3-4 catches for about 74 yards, and he still threw for almost 500 yards. So, Tyreek Hill is going to really kind of make him tick a lot, but I think that we're really going to see Tua take that next step and be honestly probably one of the top 5 quarterbacks, at least in the AFC, which that doesn't sound like saying much, but the AFC quarterback-wise is so loaded, it's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Tua, AFC Offensive Player of the Year at the minimum. Don't know how far the Dolphins will go without Jalen Ramsey, kind of holding down that defense, but so long as Tua is playing, they're going to have a chance to win every single game they play.
Somebody check the odds on that one, man, and get them while you can, because Connor James is putting the future in. But I want to say, man, Mike McDaniels, I loved it. I watched the film breakdown today of how he used Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill was in motion in 60% of his snaps, Ward. That just creates such a mismatch for the defense. You have to be so disciplined in your assignments. And to get that guy running head start at a play, man, there's not too many people that can keep up with him straight out of the gate, man. You give that guy a head start, man, there's nobody that can keep up with him. So I liked what Mike McDaniel did. He got a lot of criticism at the end of the year last year just because kind of his lack of creativity in the offense, which for a guy like that, you would never really expect that to be a criticism, but it was. And he came out week one and showed people that, he still got it. Like he's not just riding on the coattails of Shanahan, man. This guy knows how to call an offense.
Yep.
As we move on, man, Monday night game. This was, just an absolute roller coaster of emotions. Jets win over the Bills 22-16 in overtime. As Connor alluded to, a punt return gets taken back for the game-winning touchdown. The story of this, though, to me, man, is Josh Allen. Ward's talking about Madden curses before the season started. I was like, dude, the Madden curse don't touch Josh Allen. 4 turnovers in his debut of the season. Man, he looked bad. Bad. He's the king, Ward, of the arm punt. Third down, just throw it into double coverage up to somebody on a post. But another takeaway I had from this game, man, is Diggs, man, dominated Sauce. If you watch that game, bro, Sauce didn't have anything for Stephon Diggs. But obviously, man, the biggest story coming out of this game is the Jets without the quarterback they traded for this offseason, NFL legend, Aaron Rodgers, out for the year with a torn Achilles. Give me your guys' thoughts on the games and then the impact, obviously, of you got to ride with Zach Wilson now.
Yep. It's overreaction Thursday. That's the last. That's the OG quarterbacks from our time are done, boys. That's the last snap we ever see Russell. That's the last snap we ever see Aaron Rodgers play. I don't know if you want to consider Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill OG quarterbacks. I personally do not. Aaron Rodgers is an OG quarterback. I remember him when I was in elementary school, and it's sad. I hate to say it. As everybody knows, I've always been an Aaron Rodgers fan. I always respect him because he is an OG. But it's awful, man. It's crazy. I listened to a interview today of a reporter. It was RG3 actually talking about it. RG3 works for ESPN. He was working that game, and he said, you want to talk about the atmosphere of a game before running out of the tunnel, Aaron Rodgers running onto the field. That's been the offseason buzz the past 3 off seasons. Where's Aaron Rodgers going to go? He goes to New York. They build a team around him. They have the defense to possibly do something. He gets hurt. And it's not just he gets hurt. He tears his Achilles. It's the worst. Outside of a compound fracture, broken bone, it's the worst injury you can do in sports. And being as old as he is, what's he, 38?
He's about to be 40 this year, I think.
Okay, 39 is being as old as he is. It's hard to come back from that. But hate to say it, Aaron Rodgers, I'm sorry, man, but overreaction Monday, that's the last snap that we ever see Aaron Rodgers take.
Yeah.
Overreaction Thursday, not Monday, sorry.
But yeah, I would definitely, if I had to go one way or another, I'd probably agree with you there, Ward. I don't know. It's going to be a full year before he can really even start practicing again at the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, with the way that, and he is older, and while he hasn't necessarily had too many injury issues throughout his career, whenever he's had them, it's taken a little bit to come back from. And couple this with it, he's the oldest he's ever been, of course. And now he has the worst injury that you could possibly really ever have. And moving around the pocket's getting older. It's gonna never be the same. And you just add that. I'd like to say that he's gonna come back, but I really don't see it happening.
Yeah, man. I want to talk about something technique wise. If you watch that, they did it twice in the game up to that point. By the way, Rodgers only threw 4 passes in this game. 3-step drop out of the shotgun. Why are we cutting as a left tackle? We saw Mekhi Becton do it as a right tackle earlier in the game. 3-step drops, man, this is, short pass game, but a lot of things can happen in a short pass game. Do a jump set, do something, but you give up all ability to block a guy after you cut. Especially at this level, man, these guys have seen cuts for 20 years. They know what to do. So obviously that play, Rodgers' first read isn't there. He pulls the ball down, gets sacked. I don't understand why we're cutting in the NFL on 3-step drops, man. That's something that really bothered me. 2 snaps before, I said, why is Mekhi Becton cutting here? And then they do it again. And obviously that's the downfall of what seems to be the downfall of this Jets season. But yeah, man, prayers up to Aaron Rodgers. Zach Wilson's the guy now, I guess, unless, you pull off a trade for, let's say a disgruntled quarterback. I don't know, Kyler Murray or something like that. Or maybe, you call my guy Brady call Brady out of retirement and see if he wants to give it one more ride. But it seems like Zach Wilson is the guy, man. And That's a scary place to be for Jets fans in
The
2023.
MILF Hunter is back
Hey,
on
watch
the
out for my
prowl.
boy Carson Wentz, man.
The MILF Hunter's back on the prowl. Another overreaction. He's taking him to the playoffs. No, I'm not going to elaborate, but he's taking him to the playoffs. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's going to take him to the playoffs.
Hot takes are coming in quick and often here. Let's move on to college football. Man, we might have to speed it up here a little bit. We're way we've gone a long time here.
Yeah, we have.
College football week 2, man. Biggest game of the week to me was Texas-Bama.
Yep.
Ward and I both got that right. Ward told you take Texas in the points. I told you, hey, man, don't worry about them points. Take Texas money line. Texas wins in Birmingham not Birmingham. Tuscaloosa. I'm tripping.
Yep.
34-24, a game where I don't think they ever trailed. I might be wrong on that, but Quinn Ewers, again, breakout candidate, man, 349 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jalen Milroe, 299 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I do want to say the young man had 2 touchdowns called back due to penalty. But my biggest takeaway, man, Sark's offense, we've known this for years, man. This dude can run a daggum offense. The orbit motions he uses, the eye candy he uses to distract defenses, to really test their discipline. He stresses the perimeter with screens and splits by the receivers. And when he gets a light box, man, he doesn't care to run the football. Watching Sark's offense is a thing of beauty, and I just want to point that out because when you see the intricacies of this offense, man, it's beautiful to watch.
Yep, you're right. And Cam, I know I mentioned that I can't really add too much there. You mentioned it. I'm going to add. I mentioned it earlier, and I'm going to add to it now. All of us as football fans have a front row seat to watching the college football dynasties that we've watched over the past 10 to 12 years fall. Alabama dynasty, done. Clemson dynasty, done. The Georgia dynasty's here. And there's another team that has an opportunity to come up and make a name for themselves. But I think that the Alabama football dynasty and the Clemson football dynasty are falling in front of our eyes.
I mean, I think overall, I think just dynasties are going to start going away. It's the same thing with college basketball. I think there was a little bit more of an immediate return on the transfer portal. And NIL kind of playing a part in that with a couple big time transfers, especially that happened going into last season. But I think there's just going to be a little bit more parity. You're still going to have your great teams are still going to be great. But you might see a Michigan win, or Florida State starting to come back, or Ohio State might get another one. It's been about 10 years since their last one. So I think overall it's just going to kind of lead to a little bit more of an even playing field. You might see a couple teams kind of run off two natties in a row like Georgia has, or maybe 2 in 3 years like the Gators did back in the day. But overall, dynasties may not be as prevalent, but I think there's going to be more good teams. I think that is when the 12-team playoff comes, is it really going to make it a lot better? No, I think you could probably rule out at least 4 to 5 teams that'll be in there. But I think overall you'll have the top 6 to maybe 8 teams are going to be all very, very competitive, which as a college football fan, I think that's a great thing to see.
Yeah. I know y'all boys, man, rough day on Saturday. Ward was there for the NC State.
For 10 minutes.
Yeah, for 10 minutes. We saw Notre Dame win 45-24 in a game, Ward, where NC State, man, after the rain delay, it was 24-17. They had the ball ready to score in the red zone and just couldn't do it. What are your guys' takeaways as both NC State fans? I know Ward emotional hedge on this bet, or had an emotional hedge bet on this game, so he wasn't too upset, too distraught. But I want to hear what y'all State fans have to say about this game.
Connor, I'll kick us off. If anybody knows me, anytime I bet, I lose. And I bet now I'm starting to bet against my teams, hoping that my teams win because I'll lose $10 to watch my team win. Don't care. But anyway, I bet on Notre Dame covering this weekend, and they covered by a wide margin. We're in trouble. We're in a lot of trouble. Our offense is awful. And I will say a little story on the game. iPhone weather kind of screwed us here because it wasn't supposed to rain, and rained the whole game. Bought tickets for $80 right before kickoff. Get in there. We're there for 5 minutes. Then they kick us all out of the stadium. Then we get absolutely downpoured on for an hour. I mean, we are soaking wet. My phone broke. I got so wet, if that tells you anything. So didn't make it to back in the game. I was pissed off. I went and actually killed a whole Domino's pizza and a whole thing of cinnamon breadsticks. Very good. But
Off the
yeah,
board.
our offense is in trouble. I knew we were going to be in trouble. Is right after the rain delay, we're down 3-0, 2.5-hour break. Notre Dame comes in, first play of the game. Back, they break off an 80-yard touchdown run right up the middle. So yeah, we're in trouble. We play VMI this week. We'll beat VMI. And then we play our next big game. We have Louisville on Friday night in like 2 weeks. So that'll be an interesting one. But we're in trouble, Connor.
Yeah, I mean, if you got Brennan Armstrong still slinging the rock like he has been, I don't think we're even going to make a bowl. Probably should have lost to UConn. UConn came. I wasn't here the other week, but UConn came out fired up, and we were not able to respond to a worse football team than us, barely. Notre Dame, obviously, I think Notre Dame is going to be a good playoff shout, especially having
Notre Dame is good. Sam Hartman's freaking good.
Most competent quarterback they've had in the past 12 years at least. They're going to be great, but MJ Morris needs to get on the field. He can move around a little bit outside the pocket. He's not going to get happy feet like Armstrong. And I mean, overall, I liked what I saw out of the kid last year. He needs to get on the field because this happy feet Brennan Armstrong just running when he still has time to throw, and also just not making accurate throws to save his life. We need somebody who knows that offense. They brought in his OC, so I don't know how that's going to really go. So this might just be a lost season, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, man. Watching this team, first thing on Brennan Armstrong, man. If the guy's not running the football, which he does way too much, it seems like all he does is throw fades to like the short side of the field, which is incredibly frustrating to watch, especially like when you look at the receivers. And I don't think you guys really tried a receiver out there that's over 6 foot.
No.
Shout out to my guy Keon Lezane, though, my guy playing in the slot. But the biggest problem to me in this NC State team is the defensive line, man. These guys get bullied way too much, more than they should. They just get blown off the ball, man. There's no fight in this defensive line. I don't know if they haven't recruited well, if they've lost talent, or if guys just haven't developed. But, man, and you don't see these guys coming out of the game, which is even more concerning because that tells me you don't have any depth. These guys, UConn bullied them 2 weeks ago, and then and Notre Dame comes out and bullies them again. I said it last week, Ward, man. If these guys don't step up, it's going to be a long season for you guys.
Yeah.
But as we move on, Kentucky, EKU, tough watch for your boy. Kentucky wins 28-17 over our in-state opponent. I'm not going to say rival, but this was a game, Ward, where Kentucky was down 7-0 with 15 seconds left in the first half. They get a touchdown with 15 seconds left at the end of the half, and then come out and they're down 10-7 for most of the third quarter. This offense, man, is just not clicking yet. Devin Leary, the stat line looks good, but if you watch the game, man, it's a lot of inaccuracy, a lot of bad timing. His feet, man, just aren't – his footwork is just odd to me. I mean, I know we're doing a different offense. We're more of a pro style where when he was at NC State, it was more shotgun, kind of run and gun type deal, but the footwork isn't there whatsoever. Thank God we had Tavion Robinson, who had 6 receptions, 136 yards and 2 touchdowns, the Virginia Tech transfer from 2 seasons ago. But, yeah, man, the story of this game is, one, UTK's inability to keep drives moving. Penalties bit us in the ass multiple times on third downs. And then defensively on money down, third down, they can't stop people, man. I think I saw a stat they were 123 out of 126 in third down efficiency as a defense. And that's against Ball State and Eastern Kentucky, Ward. So we got to figure something out here in Lexington, and hopefully we can turn it around, because if not, just like your Wolfpack, this will be a long season.
Mm-hmm.
As we move on, though, man, the most viewed game of the weekend, we saw Colorado win 36-14 over the Fighting Matt Rules in Nebraska. This team, man, we said it last week, the skill talent is there. Those guys have enough talent on the edges to compete with anybody. Coach Prime is electric. The only thing that concerns me is the offensive line and the defensive line. If you watch the first half, man, Nebraska was moving the ball as much as they wanted. They were getting a pass rush the entire game. So Colorado, I'm sticking with my guns, man. This is a 6-7 win football team, 5-6-7 win football team, just because of the trenches. But, man, what Dion has done there to get the hype these first 2 weeks. He's done a great job, man. And this team is so fun to watch, Ward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they look good. They look good. And I know you talk about how sorry, I was looking, I just bought my tickets to the Redskins game this weekend. Breaking news, Just got tickets. I am on the 50-yard line, and I'm on row 7. I have seat 3 and 4. So come see your
everybody
boy.
Make sure you go take a seats.
Yeah, come see me in the seats. You'll see me with my Sewell jersey on.
Wear your Fat Cat shirt so we get on TV.
Yeah, no shit. But anyway, yeah, Cam, I disagree with you about Colorado being a 5 or 6 win team. I think these first 2 weeks they've proven how good their offense is, and they have 2 of the best players in college football. One on both sides of the ball, and 2 of them on offense. So I think playing in the Big 12 where nobody has playing in the Pac-12 where nobody has any defense at all, I think you can see this team be pretty good. I think the only problem that they're going to have is Oregon and USC. Other than that, I mean, the way they're playing right now, it's going to be interesting to see.
If you had to put a number on it, what's the number right now? Just
I'd have to I'd have to put their schedule up, but okay. I'd say right now 8 to 9 wins.
Wow. Okay.
I give them 8. I give them 8 wins.
I'll go a little bit more with Ward, probably 7-8 wins. Hot take, they'll beat USC because I think they have USC coming into Boulder. I think they might end up pulling one out there. That's mainly just a heart pick. Don't take that one seriously. But then they'll go lose to Oregon. But they'll get. I think they'll kind of have that signature win to kind of show they're here. That also kind of ties into the fact I think USC will miss the playoff again. But yeah, I think they can beat USC, probably lose to Oregon, and they'll probably split the rest of the way ish. Probably lose to Washington, but overall, I mean, they're a great team to watch. Just bought a pair of the Prime 21 Blenders sunglasses.
Nice.
They're badass, and yeah, I mean, Colorado's kind of been. I've already adopted them as my second team this year, and they probably will be for as long as Deion Sanders is coaching. Because I'll tell you, if I was even half as good as these young men were in high school, and I got an offer from Colorado, I'd be going to Colorado.
I can tell you right now, when I'm in Denver this week, and I'm gonna buy a Colorado Buffs t-shirt.
Go Buffs, baby.
Yeah, I've got the jacket, man. I got it right when Deion got there. So don't think I'm hating. I'm just trying to be a realist here in this situation. I do have some stats, man. Shedeur Sanders, who has been on fire, man. The kid's incredible. 339 or 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. The receiver, Xavier Weaver, finished the game with 10 receptions, 170 yards and a touchdown.
He's a beast.
And when I talk about weapons, man, this guy's listed as their 3rd receiver on their depth chart, Ward. This guy came in and had 170 yards. The kid's tough. But when you watch the Fat and Matt Rules, man, Jeff Sims is Jeff Sims, bro. 3 turnovers, 2 touchdowns. We saw it year after year at Georgia Tech. The kid's a turnover machine, and that's nothing against him. Some guys are just like that. But Jeff Sims was kind of the downfall of the Nebraska Cornhuskers here. As we get into it, though, Max and Ward, as everybody knows, me and you picked 2 MAC teams at the beginning of the year. You're Northern Illinois. I forget their nickname. I don't know what it is. And then my Eastern Michigan Eagles. We saw Northern Illinois go down to Southern Illinois, 11-14.
Is that a D2 upset? FCS upset?
That's an FCS upset. In-state FCS upset for the boys. Eastern Michigan loses 6-25 to Minnesota. To me, these were 2-0 burgers of games. I watched both of them, the condensed version, and not a single person on either one of these football fields stood out to me, not even in Minnesota. So that was just one we're going to fly past unless you have anything to talk about your Northern Illinois boys there.
Betting odds, a big spread this weekend. So Minnesota comes to UNC. They play in Chapel Hill, and Carolina's a -7.5 favorite. I don't know whether am I pick them to pick Carolina covering or pick Minnesota to cover. I don't know anything about Minnesota. So, Cam, how bad's Minnesota?
They did not. I mean, they put up 25 against Eastern Michigan. Ward.
They also beat the Fighting Matt Rules week 1.
They did.
So they did, and they scored like 13 points in that game. Yeah. So
take Carolina in the points.
So as we move on, big news. This is old news because he sucked after this happened. But Joe Burrow, 5-year, $275 million contract. We see Chris Jones get a 1-year deal of up to $25 million with the Chiefs with incentives. But the big story of the weekend to me, man, We saw one of the biggest upsets in sports history, bro.
Mhm.
Sean Strickland comes out and for 5 rounds, dog walks, dominates. One of the greatest middleweights of all time in the UFC, Israel Adesanya. Ward, you picked this guy to win, man. Let's talk about it. You and Fry both picked this guy to win in our group chat. So I wanted you to have the floor, man. I thought there was no way in the world Israel Adesanya would lose this fight.
I wouldn't say I picked him to win. I hoped that he win. I did not pick him to win. I did not bet money on him in any way. As everybody knows that knows me, I cannot stand I cannot stand Israel Adesanya. And there's nothing I like more than seeing him get his ass beat for 25 minutes. But anyway, so happy for Sean Strickland, and I'm happy for the USA as well. In the past year, we actually have 3 new U.S. champions taking them from foreigners. We have Sean O'Malley. We now have Sean Strickland, and people forget about John Jones, which John Jones has always been a U.S. champion, but he went up a weight class and took another belt. But anyway, so happy for Sean Strickland. Hopefully he doesn't get canceled. And, yeah, I feel like it's been so long ago. I feel like we've already talked about everything, but
Can't cancel the champ, Ward.
can't cancel the champ. That's right.
Yeah, we got Deshaun Strickland, and then I guess Colby's next. Really just kind of complete the
I hope so.
trifecta. I'm sure in suburban areas, MMA gyms are going to see a severe increase in enrollment off of these 2 guys alone. And if Colby gets it, I mean, it's going to be absolutely mental. But yeah, the iCarly stance, as I've been seeing it online. If anybody remembers the old episode of iCarly back in the day, won Sean the fight. I mean, he just checked everything, and I thought it was going to be over after round 1. I
did too, man.
Oh my God. Old Johnny Appleseed. We were about to lose our damn minds. But I mean, good for Sean. I guess Hamzat might be the money fight for him, because I'm curious to Izzy. I don't know, but I mean, good for Sean.
I'm curious to see what happens. Can I tell you now? Hamzat and Costa are about to fight, or Paulo Costa are about to fight. So there's that South African dude too. Remember, the South African guy is supposed to be next. I guarantee you, Hamzat comes out and dominates Costa. He's jumping the pack. He is an immediate title shot. But which is pretty. And I personally don't think Israel Adesanya deserves a rematch. They're going to give him one because how big of a draw he is, and he's the cover of UFC 5, the new video game, and he's not even the champ anymore. But anyway, man, I don't know. I don't think they're going to give it to him because how much of a draw he is. Sean O'Malley or Sean Strickland, I would ride this one out as long as you can, buddy. But yeah, so happy for him, man.
I want to say, man, and y'all know, like, I'm one of the biggest Izzy fans there was. I watched him since he's kickboxing. I'm not a fan anymore. He lost to Sean Strickland, bro. But the dude's 1-2 in his last 3 fights. He's 2-3 in his last 5, or no, 3-2 in his last 5. So yeah, I don't think the guy deserves a immediate rematch. I mean, he can climb his way back up the ladder. But if you watch the post-fight and stuff, man, that doesn't look like a guy that really cares about fighting anymore, which I understand, man. You get that amount of money and that much success, but the post-fight stuff, man, he just doesn't seem like a guy that's in the game anymore, and you never want to see a guy 1 foot out the door, because that's when, legacies get destroyed and years get taken off your life.
Before he retires, I pray he fights Khamzat. Pray.
He's going to get...
I hope. Oh my God! I don't like Khamzat. I don't like Khamzat either. But boy, I do not like Izzy.
But as we move on, man, we got week 2 NFL stuff coming up. Tonight's game, Vikings-Eagles, coming on here in about 2 hours on the dot. Who you boys got? Any insight into the games? What we're thinking, but who you guys got?
I'm keeping it in the NFC East. I do think the NFC East is the number 1 division in football, so I'm going to take the Eagles. And actually have an interesting parlay riding on this game. It was $10 to win 90. So for my parlay to hit, I need Jalen Hurts to have 2 touchdowns, anyway, throwing, rushing, anything, and then I need Justin Jefferson to have 1 touchdown. So the parlay gods, if you're watching, help your boy out. I'm going to Denver and I'm about to spend some money, so $90 would be nice.
Yeah, you can pick up that legal pack.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully it's a shootout. It should be. Eagles could. I don't think. I think the Vikings could win in a close one, but I'd go Eagles outright. I don't know what the spread is, but I'd probably pick them to cover. Even I don't see. I think the Vikings could make it an interesting game through maybe 3 quarters. But I mean, I think the Eagles overall are just going to be better. It'll be interesting to see how their play calling is without Steichen and against a better team. I mean, that game against New England was but it's it'll be interesting. I think we'll really figure out the Eagles after tonight and maybe one more game, see how really good they're going to be this year. But yeah, I'd take the Eagles outright, and I'd take the spread if I knew it.
Ward, I got 2 questions for you, man.
Yes, sir.
What day is it?
What day is it? It's Thursday.
Yeah.
It's week 2, baby.
Yeah, what time is it? What time's this game?
It's at 8. Oh, okay. Prime time.
This ain't Sunday at 1:00, boys. What are we talking about? Eagles by 3 scores, man. This guy cannot play in prime time. We got Kirk Cousins as a quarterback. It's not Sunday at 1:00, you fools. This game isn't going to be close tonight. Eagles by 1,000,000.
Love it. Love it. And then so next up, we're going to cover the Commanders versus the Broncos. Not going to say too much here. We've talked a lot about the Commanders tonight, but I have the Broncos covering the -3.5 spread. Pray I'm wrong.
Joey Slice hitting a game winner.
Oh God, I hope, man, I would go ape shit. He's
gonna kick the ball over the Rockies, man, in that mile high air.
I pray, man. The only reason why
Joey Slice hitting the winner.
Y'all know
I'm going Commanders in an ugly 13 to 12 game, something like that. Sean Payton, sticks his foot in his mouth after talking all that shit to Nathaniel Hackett. I'm going Commanders here on Sunday at 4:25.
I pray that y'all take that. That y'all would please take the Broncos. Please just take them, because give us all the mojo that we need. And I will say, in my last 2 Commanders games, I'm 0-2. So third time's a charm, hopefully. But Dolphins, Pats. Not sure what the spread is here. Give me the Dolphins, and I'd say if I had to guess, maybe like a -5 spread. Give me the Dolphins covering.
I want to say, and this could be wrong, I got my man Connor James over here checking it. I think it was 6.5.
Okay.
But either way, man, I'm taking the Dolphins to win outright. That offense, man, is killer, and Freaky Reeky, man, he's awesome, and Tua looks so good. And Mike McDaniel, man, like I said earlier, man, this offense is fun. It's hard to game plan for because there's so many moving parts. So Sunday night at 8:20, man, I'm going to rock with the Dolphins.
So for the record, the spread is 3 points. So we're going to drop the hammer on Miami. I mean, yeah, you're making your money back on that one, I think.
Yeah, it's only a
New England, so who knows?
Spread.
But I'm taking Miami. I'm taking Miami in the points.
Interesting. -3 spread. That's it. Wow. But what are we thinking? Steelers Browns Monday night, 8:15.
I touched on it earlier.
I think
man.
last time I checked, this was a -3.5 spread.
Yeah. I said it earlier.
2.5 now, actually.
Yeah, I got bet down. I said it earlier, man. The Browns is the Browns. We don't lose to these guys. I don't care if it's a Monday night game at 8:15. We should win every single game against the Browns. That will not change. Steelers. Let's go 14-10 Steelers.
Ugly game. Like it.
AFC
Cam, I'm so sorry I'm going to disagree with you, just because like the Bengals were doing, they were calling the Browns the little elves. I think Deshaun Watson's on a tear right now, and I have the Browns coming in to Pittsburgh and covering on Monday Night Football.
Going for the first NFC North tie of the season, because there's always one, and it's happening Monday.
AFC North?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Ty, dude, you better, Connor, I love the takes, man. You got to throw some money on some of these.
What's happening here, Ward, is the classic just throwing as many darts at the board and hoping one hits.
Hey, every comment I got on the Instagram page is correct.
Connor's just saying stuff.
You do always get them right. I wonder what I am. Last week in my bets, I was 3-0.
Okay.
I don't know what I am this week. In my college football bets too.
On our picks on the show, I was 4-1 last week. But yeah, man, Connor's just throwing as many darts at the board right now, if you can't tell, and hoping one sticks. And I'll promise you, Ward, if one of these hits, man, we're never going to hear the end of it.
Yep.
But
AFC North tie, first one.
Well, what's the score in the tie?
2020.
2020 vision.
Just like the year COVID came.
Yep. College football week 3 preview. This is a week that not a lot of games, Ward. So we're just going to cover our boys.
Yep.
NC State BMI. NC State, I don't have the spread, but I'm taking NC State outright, obviously.
Yep.
I think we're all on the same page there.
There's not even a spread.
Kentucky Akron, again, I don't have the spread right in front of me. Yeah, I do. 26. Kentucky's 26-point favorites. I'm taking Kentucky, and I'll touch on the spread later, but Kentucky outright.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I'm taking State covering, and I'm taking Kentucky covering. Eastern Michigan, not sure what the spread is there. So, no idea. Northern Illinois.
I think they're a 1.5-point favorite, so I'm taking Eastern Michigan to win outright against UMass.
Interesting. And then, okay, screw it. I'll take them too. And then Northern Illinois, they just played a Power 5 team week 1. They beat a Power 5 team week 2. I don't think this mojo rolls into week 3 after losing to an FCS team. So I'm going to take Northern Illinois covering but losing against Nebraska.
Heck no. Northern Illinois win outright. Bounce back game after a rivalry game goes. Nebraska's bad, man. NIU might be worse, but I'm going to rock with your boys here.
I love it.
Let me see. Got spread.
What are we, like a minus 26 over VMI, if I had to guess?
There's not even a spread posted for that game. But for Northern Illinois, Nebraska, I'm gonna take Nebraska's points since it's an 11-point spread. But I think Northern Illinois will cover. Yeah, I'll go Northern Illinois to cover.
11 points.
As we move on, man, big dogs locks. I'm going to start us out here. My first lock, I'm going to say Colts -1 versus Houston. I got Steelers Browns under 39 points. I got Western Kentucky +29 against the Ohio State. Ohio State is yet to cover in a game this year. They've yet to score over 35 points in a game this year. Kentucky -26 versus Akron. Rough week last week, but I think the boys come out and finally hit their stride here. And then I got Tennessee versus Florida. I've got the over 58.5 points. Those are Cam's big dog locks. Ward, hit us off here.
Well, I'll go ahead and jump into it. I have Tennessee versus Florida play. I think Tennessee walks Florida. I think Tennessee does what they want in Florida. -6.5 spread. And these were on Tuesday, so I don't know what they are now.
It was 7 on Tuesday. It got bet down to 6.5.
Okay. Well, okay. Never mind. Well, anyway, yeah, I'm taking Tennessee. Thanks for correcting that, Kim. I'm taking Tennessee with a 6.5 spread over Florida. My interesting hot take this week, and I really want to get reactions, what you guys think. South Carolina and UGA play this week. I have South Carolina losing but covering. It's a +27 spread. UGA has not played anybody yet this year. South Carolina has already played a ranked team. And, I think South Carolina is going to cover but lose. And then my next one going into NFL, the Chargers are a -3 favorite over Tennessee in Nashville. I think the Chargers beat the shit out of Tennessee. Tennessee turned the ball over 4 times week 1. So I'm taking the Chargers covering.
And I've been just updating my locks as we've been going along here. We'll go 1 for college football. Right now, Washington is playing Michigan State 5 p.m. on Saturday. Big scandal surrounding Michigan State this week with Mel Tucker and whatever he's got going on. It seems like a real rocky situation, getting in a relationship with the person you ask to come speak to your organization about sexual harassment. Not a good look there for Mel Tucker, picking Washington to cover the spread at 17. NFL-wise, what did I see that stood out?
Why you?
Yeah, I'll take Philly with the points, 6 points right now, and then one, since y'all don't have anything from this honestly phenomenal looking fight night card this weekend. Alexa Grasso taking that money line. She's currently the underdog against Shevchenko. She is going to retain.
Uh-oh.
I like it.
I like that one.
And Kevin Holland's going to tap out Jack Dylan Maddalena because Kevin Holland's that dude.
Let's talk about Kevin Holland fighting for the second time in like a month.
Beast.
Yeah, this fight night card. Yeah, this card's gonna be awesome, man. I like that pick. me and Ward have kind of kept this straight football, but we like the UFC injection here.
That's your
Ward.
UFC, baby.
But pet peeves of the week, Ward. I'm gonna let you take this one off because I don't see where you're going with this one yet.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take it off. And I know we're running long. I'll be quick with it. But my pet peeve of the week is when you go to an ice cream place with somebody and they just order a cup of vanilla or a cup of chocolate ice cream. I think it's bullshit. Be a little original. Go out, order some Oreo or some chocolate chip cookie dough, something. Get something different than vanilla or chocolate. So that's my pet peeve of the week.
I like it. Connor does not want to participate in the segment. He said it's stupid. I'm just kidding. But my pet peeve of the week is college football uniforms not matching, man. Texas did it. Kentucky did it. Eastern Kentucky did it. Georgia Tech did it. When their helmets don't match their uniforms or, logos don't match the right colors, it just bothers me to look at. So that's my pet peeve of the week. Full plate, empty stomach. My full plate is going to be Cowboys defense / special teams owners and fantasy. And as my guy Connor alluded to, Mel Tucker Ward is going to be my empty stomach.
Like it. My empty stomach this week is my bad. I wasn't even paying attention. Sorry, boys. My full plate this week is Tyler Bass for winning me my fantasy league or winning my fantasy team. Screw you, Ben Misk. And my empty stomach is Joe Burrow after the performance that he put up week 1 against the Browns.
Yep, man. And we're out of here, boys. But real quick, want to remind everybody the Fat Katz Podcast on YouTube and Spotify. That's KATZ. Instagram, TikTok at Fat Katz Pod. Again, check out the link tree if you want to get a shirt. We'll be uploading hats and more shirts as the weeks go by. Just as designs come in, I'll upload them on there. So we'll have some variety, not just the plain Jane Fat Katz t-shirts. Again, we appreciate everybody listening. Appreciate our boy Connor James. Connor, let the people know where they can find you, socials, all that stuff.
You can follow me on Instagram at Johnner Kames. My name's Connor James. Just figure it out. He switched.
Love it. Connor,
Ward.
Thank you so much for joining us. Obviously it's a pleasure always to have you on, a fellow Wolfpacker and a fellow Redskin football team commander. Always a pleasure. Cam, the boys are at our next big milestone. 25 is next. 25 is going to be a big one. And if any of our listeners are halfway, not West Coast, but halfway West Coast in Colorado, hit your boy up this weekend. I'll be there. I need some recommendations for stuff. So if you made it this far,
weed.
Yeah. Hey, what is it? Wade, Fade Wade. Fade Wade. I love that saying, by the way. That needs to be the new slogan on the Google Doc. But
I'll make a t-shirt.
Nobody makes it this far anyway. So hey, always a pleasure, boys.
Song of the week, Renegade Sticks.
Yeah, my song of the week is all the NFL, Fox News, or Fox, CBS, and NBC, and Monday Night Football intros. So since football's back.
On the road again, Willie Nelson.
Love it. All right, boys. Hey, always a pleasure. This will get posted tonight. I'm about to starve. Got to go get some food. So post it after dinner time.
Peace.